Joining us now on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline, Zach Wilson, the quarterback of the BYU Cougars. Zach, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on.
So, how was your Christmas? What does Zach Wilson get for Christmas?
Some clothes. The Apple Watch. I broke my old Apple Watch, so I asked for a new one. Kind of something I used a lot in the off season, so I figured I might as well get another one.
Nice.
Besides that, I mean, just hanging out with the family is really all I can ask for.
Do you think that you got more presents or better presents based off of your performance?
No, I wish it worked out like that.
By the way, congratulations on the bowl win. Obviously, the 18 for 18 performance, everybody's talking about that, and then the MVP award. Can you take us through what it's like to be in the middle of a performance like that?
No, I think it's really, such a crazy feeling. I don't know if I've ever been, perfect in a game of attempts to completion. It's a cool feeling just because, I had no idea during the game that was the case. I mean, I think that was the reason that I was able to keep making completions was just the fact that I had no idea. I mean, if someone would have told me early in the game, I would have ended up choking and throwing the ball at the ground, knowing it was, a tight situation. But, it was cool to see that after the game.
So, Zach, prior to this game and maybe even you can go back to high school, heck, we can even say Pee-wees, do you think you had a game where you were as efficient as the bowl game?
I haven't. No, I don't think so.
How would you sum up this year for you? A two-part question. How would you sum it up for you, and then how would you sum it up for this team?
I would say especially like these last couple games, we really started to find ourselves and what we were capable of. And I feel like personally for me too, as a player, like I found what I'm getting comfortable at and what I'm getting good at. And I'm starting to try, higher level things, in parts of games just because I'm learning more as every game goes on. And, I would say that my progression in like the last 7 games that I played was huge. I mean, I learned so much. And I think going into this offseason, it's kind of like it's a huge confidence builder, along with being able to do more things that a typical, freshman or even going into my sophomore year wouldn't normally be able to do, just because I can practice those things because I know what that experience is like, and I can just keep building off of it.
What are some of the things that you feel most comfortable in doing, maybe even wanting to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the flow of the game, like being able to come out and see certain things, like knowing exactly what defensive coverage are giving you, even if they're disguising something, or being able to make a check, or going on 2 cadence, or being able to get someone out of their disguise, or being able to, quick little hot route, knowing who's blitzing, those kind of things, and then building this offseason to getting, more audibles or more chances to be able to check out of something when the look's not there, or even making harder throws. Like I've been throwing some back shoulder throws my last couple games, or a corner post for a touchdown to Dylan Colley where I had to look off the safety down the middle in order to hold the read. When it's like when you first start playing, you really don't have the feel for those kind of things. But the more comfortable you are, you can start looking guys off. You can start adding more into your games and make it just that much better.
BYU quarterback Zach Wilson joining us here on BYU Sports Nation. He's on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Zach, what do you think was the biggest lesson you learned this year?
The biggest lesson I learned, I would probably just say just the patience of what it takes to become a good quarterback. I mean, I've seen so many people fall off, and especially when they have success at a young age or whatever it is. And, I mean, the biggest lesson I've learned is probably that this is just the start. Like you have to put in work, and you have to keep going from what you've established here. If I stop here, we're definitely not going to get anywhere. And I think the biggest thing I've learned is that this team can be something super, super special in the future. And, I'm excited for this offseason and what we have coming for us just this next year.
Zach, one of the things that really impressed me about you, and certainly it's not crazy to think that a freshman could be a leader like you were, but throughout the season, it just impressed me how much of a leader you had become and how much respect you had earned from your teammates. What did that mean to you throughout the year to be able to first of all be considered one of the leaders, but also to earn your teammates' respect?
Yeah, that's a huge aspect I want to draw from the team, and I think that's a huge aspect that you need in order to be successful as a team. I know it's tough sometimes as a younger guy to be able to get on someone or kind of speak up and talk about a certain situation, but I kind of found that as a team, you have to have those good communication skills where, I have to make sure I reach out to my receivers and my line and, tell them, hey, a certain route, we got to be doing this. Like, this is what I'm going to be looking for. And, as an example, when Dylan Colley ran that corner route, I mean, everything was perfect because you could tell we'd had that communication and things had worked out, that he knew when the guy wasn't hands-on and impressed that he was going to flatten his corner out off. And because Allen converted to a slant return route, that I knew the corner was going to get held. So it was like it all came into play on one play just because we had that communication and we worked on that kind of thing in practice. And, I think that's just a huge aspect of what we had going on.
My advice that I give you, man, as a former player is as a leader, a natural-born leader like we believe you are, continue to speak up and don't feel afraid. You actually go against your natural nature when you are timid. And even more so, you have the biggest excuse being the quarterback, right? The team, no matter what, the fans, the community, we have to listen to you. So, you definitely have the opportunity to lead these guys and motivate them like you did. I would say, my question for you as a former player is, what are your top 3 things that you want to do or focus on, get better on heading into this offseason?
I think I want to just get more comfortable with we're going to be adding things, I think, this spring and fall of just what we want to do as an offense to another level, to another extent. I mean, we kind of threw in this new no-huddle offense towards the end of the year, and we really haven't perfected anything crazy. So this offseason, I just want to get better at becoming quicker with my reads, like knowing exactly on a play, like, okay, they're in this coverage. This read isn't going to be there. Don't dwell on it long, kind of get off of it quick, and where's my check down going to be? Where am I safe to just dump the ball off? Like, when is someone blitzing? When will I not have a check down to take off and run? And then just being safer with things. I would say my top 3, just getting more comfortable with the offense, getting better with just knowing coverages as well, just all the different coverages that come with being in college football. And then another one, just improving my game. I want to put on like 15 pounds, hopefully. Nice. Play at like 215, and everyone loses about 5 pounds or whatever it is during the year. And hopefully just be able to become a better passer. I mean, become more accurate and more fluid as a passer this offseason.
So, Zach, last thing before we let you go, and we appreciate your time. What do the next few weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, look like for you and the guys as you ramp up to spring ball?
Yeah, I mean, we've already started talking about, how we're going to get our throwing in and our workout schedules in. And I know that always want to come in and lift extra and go in and make sure we throw after. And we just work on this route here and this route there. And, it'll all build up. So I know we already have throwing stuff going on this week, which is, crazy to think about. But I know guys are excited. It's pretty much going to be working out and grinding until spring ball.
Zach, great stuff as always. Fantastic performance in the bowl game. It was fun to watch you all season long. I know I speak for all of BYU Sports Nation when I say we're really excited to see what happens in year 2 for you. Thanks for the time. And you know what? We'll even give you some BYU Sports Nation karma as you head into the offseason. How about that?
Where's the music at? We're supposed to have the music. Where's the music
There we
at?
go. Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.